Should we say good evening and to welcome our to welcome you to um, the second class, the second night class. And tonight we'll be looking at something a little bit different from the original plan of this class. And primarily, what's this class all about? It to um, give us practical teachings that will help us to live a successful, a fulfilling life. And but what we want to look at tonight will also be leading us to that direction. And that's why I titled the class Life Before and After Death. Life Before and After Death. And I thought of looking at the late Access Bank CEO who lost his life in helicopter crash together with his wife and his son. And we're not going to be looking at his life fully, anyways, but I want to tap the lesson out of his life and from the incident. And let's apply it to our individual selves and see how we can live a fulfilling, a successful, and as well promising life from that lesson. All right. And first thing first, there are some questions we need to answer as a person. And what are those questions? Number one, what is my purpose of existence? I want you to write that down. And these are questions that you should provide answers to. And you knowing your purpose, it's one of the keys to living a fulfilling and a promising life, and as well a successful life. What is my purpose of existence? In simple terms, it's like, why am I living? Why am I living? You must have answers to that question. So, you having answer to that question will guide you to taking steps towards that purpose. I know in the last class we talked about you monetizing your skill, and one of it is you aligning your passion with your niche. All right. So if we should take a lesson from that previous lesson into this question now, that what is my purpose for living, or what is my purpose of existence? Now, can you answer that question? Like I said, write it down. What is my purpose of existence? Why am I living? Why am I living? I watched one of the videos of Dr. Albert Igwe of the Access Bank, rest in peace, where he practically said that you know why is living is not for himself, neither for his children or wife, but for humanity. And one of the reasons why the banking sector you have been able to raise a whole lot of good people, uh, good material in terms of human persons, and as well the I think the ongoing building, if it's ongoing, I don't really have full information about that of the university to be named after is building at the moment. So he said it's going to be a foremost university in Africa. So that has answered the kind of his purpose. So his own is to serve humanity. So what's your own purpose? To serve humanity, to make money, to live a kind of fulfilled life, or a life that is so pleasing, or a life that is so calm. What is your purpose of existence? So when you know that, then you're able to take steps towards that direction. All right. Now, having known that this is my purpose for existence, then what are those steps you should take? What are those steps you should take? And that's where the idea of the SMART principle comes in, the SMART comes in, where you need to set specific goals towards your purpose of living, right? You need to set measurable goals towards the purpose of your living. You need to set attainable goals towards the purpose of your living, and set, or what's the realistic goals towards the purpose of your living. And finally, to set time-bound goals towards the purpose of your living. Now, we have been born. What is our life before death? So that's what we are looking at right now. How we should live our lives. That even after we have left, the life we live before death, does it still count after we have left? So that's the second question I'll be asking now, that I want you to pin down. That after I have left, the life I live before death, will it still count? That's where legacy comes in. That is, will your legacy still hold? Will people still be able to make reference to you and say, yes, while he was alive, while she was alive, he did this, he did that. And I cannot forget. So let me just chip in this, because it's part of what we want to talk about. Why the incident happened, or after the incident happened, rather. And I was going through my Facebook timelines, and I saw a friend who posted the picture of Dr. Albert Igwe, and said, okay, lost his life. So I tried to read the comments in that post. And one of the comments that captured my attention was that one of the ex-staff said, I don't really like this man, but he actually contributed to my life positively. Then she further said that she remembered there was a day that he instructed the the bursary to deduct from her salary so that she can use the money to buy suits for office. And she was like, out of the small salary she's earning, you're asking a certain amount of money, more than 50% to be deducted from my salary to buy suits. He said that act, made her not to like the man. But that particular action that Dr. Igwe did, transformed her life, changed her life, and made her a positive driven person today. That's a legacy. After you have left, will people still be able to point at one or two legacies about it, positive ones, that will help motivate others to live a life like your own? So when I was going through those comments, that particular comment captured my attention. And I was like, yes, I went to see the posters, the commenters' profile, and see a profile. And I said, this one has gone past just another person. Why? Because she's not a big woman. And I'm sure the experience she went through working with her husband had made her a positively driven person. So it's the same thing. Now, what the life you live before that, will it still count after you have left? All right, that's the question I wanted to answer. Pen it down. Remember the first one: what is the purpose of your living? What is the purpose of your living? And secondly, the life you're living before death, will it count after you have left? Now, so further to that, I also read that sometimes in December, his dream house, I mean, Dr. Igwe Albert, his dream house was launched, towards December last year, and it's worth 10 billion naira, the house. Worth 10 billion naira. Oh, you can imagine, between December and now, apparently 2 months, or even less than 2 months, he lived in that house. 10 billion naira house. If he had ever thought that, come, I'm gonna be, passing on early or in the early of 2024, he wouldn't have gone building such a house. So I started reading comments in that particular post. I want us to tap one or two lessons from those comments. One of the comments there said that so this man has a whole lot of money like this to build houses, and some people are living under the bridge, and some people do not cannot even afford 3 square meters. And somebody has 10 billion naira to build the mansion just for himself, wife, and children. Very big house there in Lekki, Lagos. What kind of testimony is that? Well, this is what I want to drive out from there. He has lived and he has worked so hard to earn such a mansion for himself. All right? That is a life living before death. How much work or how much, what will I put the question? How hard do you work? That's the next question I wanted to put down. How hard do you work? I was relating with somebody a couple of days ago where he said that, see, this 2024, I don't want to do so much stressful work. What I want to do is there a work I can do that I'll just be in the office, I won't do tedious work and I will earn so much. And I told him, I said, yes, there are many of them. One of them is digital marketing, one of them is freelancing, one of them is this and that and all of that. But the important thing is you need to have the skill of this particular business or whatever or career you're talking about. You need to have skill. You need to have the skill. If you don't have the skill, it cannot work. And it was like, that's what he's trying to say. How will he acquire the skill? That's where I'm going, right? How hard do you work, right? How hard do you work towards the purpose of your living? This is why I'm living, or this is the purpose of my existence. The purpose of my existence is to be a teacher. How hard do you work as a teacher? The purpose of my living is to become a banker. How hard do you work as a banker? The purpose of my living is to be a chef. A chef. How hard do you work as a chef? How hard? Or the purpose of my living is to be a doctor. How hard do you work as a doctor? Because it is somebody who works hard that ends well. The hard I'm talking about here is not you doing a lot of tedious work and all of that. It's you how you are able to commit more time, commit more energy, commit more resources to your career to get the best out of it. An example is Dr. Abatigo. He had committed so much resources into his business to get so much money of 10 billion naira to build such a mansion. To tell you how hard he had worked. So it's just like the story of two young men who were like, hey, they call themselves and were like, we need to know what our destiny holds. Okay, how do we do that? One of them suggested, okay, let's go and meet the wise man in the village and let him consult and tell us, right? And tell us how our destiny will go or how it will look, right? And on getting there, they met this particular wise man. And he said, okay, you will become the king of this village. But hmm, you'll be a slave. That's just it. You'll be a slave. You can imagine. And the funniest part of it was that both of them received the information all together and left. Upon leaving, the one that the we like call it a vision was seen to that will become a king, decided now to, buy a king-like chair, a chair that is so decorated and that befits a king. He said, yes. He said, I'll become a king. And every morning he puts the chair in front of his house and say, yes, I'm going to be the next king of this village. But the other guy who was, who, like I said, vision was sent to that he become a slave. Started to go far, 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 far out of the village into a thick forest and started tilling the soil there. Started farming. He had a lot of large, portion of land filled with a lot of vegetations, crops, everything. Then the one that was prophesied to become a king eventually became a king. Congratulations. And at some point, after some while, there was famine in that land in which the king was. And they sought here and there looking for food, looking for what to eat. The whole community and the whole villagers were, on his neck, pressurizing him. Oh, king, how do we solve this hunger issue? There is famine in the land. Ah, why they were deliberating so much? Somebody said, there is one man inside the forest, far, 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 far. He has a large portion of land that he can feed us for the next 10 years. And by that time, we will have been out of famine. Okay, consult him now and tell him that we're in need of food and all of that. They send representatives to him. And getting to it, he said, well, no problem. I'm ready to give food. But I don't want your money. But on one condition. The condition is you make me a king. And they came back and reported to the king. He said, oh, no problem. We'll make him a king and he will give us food. No problem. Once we are out of family, what will happen? We'll get over our kingship. No while. Then the deal was struck. And he became a king. And he was feeding the whole community, the whole village. And that was how the whole thing ended. What happened? The one that was said to be, yes, you're going to be the king. It wasn't working out. It wasn't working towards that purpose of its existence. It wasn't driving towards the direction, the purpose of his existence. The other one that was said to be, you will be a slave, decided that said, no, just like the 2024 slogan in Nigeria, no grief for anybody. He didn't agree towards that prophecy, or should we call it um, vision. He didn't agree to that. He said, no, I can never be a slave. I don't want to be a slave. Right? And he went on to work hard, to work towards being that which he wanted to be. Seems the lightning is not enough. You don't see my eyes. I think so. I think it's a little bit better now. So he worked hard, and that which that was prophesied to him eventually changed, and he became the king thereafter. The one that was prophesied to become king, what happened? Yes, he became king, but eventually lost the kingship. Why? Because it wasn't working towards that purpose. So if you have been able to identify the purpose of your living, are you working towards it? Or you're just folding your arms. I'm gonna be a medical doctor, man. I'm gonna be a banker. I'm gonna own one of the biggest schools in Africa. Oh, yeah, these are good purposes. Those are good dreams. Those are good ambitions. But the question is, are you working towards the achieving of that goal, towards achieving of that purpose, towards the achievement of that purpose? Are you working hard towards that? If you're not working that, let me tell you this, you're bound to fail. Take it or leave it. Yes. Oh, okay. By this time next year, I want to build a house. And as of the time you're talking, you have no landed property. How do you want to build the house? First thing first, you need to get a land, get building materials, and start the building process. So that by that next year, you finish building the house. So you getting landed property, buying the raw materials, employing laborers, and start working. Those are the working out process towards achieving that purpose, towards achieving that goal. Abatige was able to do that. He was able to live that life of purpose. He was able to live that life of fulfillment. Despite the fact that when I say that young, but he was able to live that life. So what about you? Are you working towards that purpose? Or you're just doing, well, I don't even know. or you are being swayed away by circumstances and situations around you. Ah, I've even heard some people say, you see, this is Nigeria, cannot succeed here. Mm-mm. Some people say, you see, this is our country. It's not easy. Yes, as it's not easy. Some people are making it through. Some people are pushing through. Why can't you? Why can't you? You too can push through. And to push through, you need to work hard. You need to work hard. No room for laziness, no room for idleness, no room for nonchalant attitude, the I don't care attitude. You're always up and in. Let me use the local term, the local language, the local word used. You must be an hustler. You must be an hustler. That's just it. It's as simple as that. My dad will tell me something, said, yes, you're making money, right? No, stop. You have to look for something else that will help you to make more money. You have to look for money, use money to find money, and get more money. That it is when you are financially free, financially stable, then you can live a life of fulfillment and a life of success. When you're financially stable. And you know, that is the purpose of our living generally. Who wants to live as a poor man? Who wants to live as a slave? No one. Even if you see a young chap now, a young boy, a young girl, still in the primary school, and I ask him or her, the ambition is so massive, so big, right? Because that's just it. That's the reality. But the question is, are you working towards it? And after you have worked anyways, you have worked, you have amassed the whole wealth, you have amassed, the comforts you want. What's next? What's next? Even though the scripture made us to understand that all of these things are vanity upon vanity, that is vanity upon vanity. Does that now mean that you would not live a life of comfort? You will not live a life of wealth? You will not live a life of, total, how would I put it? You have everything at your disposal because they say everything is vanity upon vanity. And that's why you have to trek. And when you can afford a vehicle, and say, well, everything is vanity upon vanity. Yes, I'm committed because the 30 billion naira house Dr. Albert Igwe had built. I was asking myself a question before this class, like, who will buy the house? Well, we have billionaires who will buy it. But I see no point having such a massive uh, house and it's not yielding you more profit. That's why I said. Hmm? That's what I said. So you have to work and mass it. That the love of money is the root of all evil. Yes, we know that. But does that mean you should be poor? No. You have a dream. You have a purpose. How are you working towards it? And after you have worked towards it, what's the life after death? The reality of it is that life after death, everything is vanity. Everything you acquire, you're not taking it along with you. Albert Igwe didn't go with them. They never go with all the billions he has in his account. The 30 billion house, they didn't, he will not be buried with the house. So it's vanity upon vanity for true, of a truth. But does that mean you should not work hard to earn enough living? No. But as you get it, I think there was a story of a philanthropist or a businessman that was diagnosed of a terminal disease or sickness. And what he had to do was he started gathering all his properties, house and property, material, and everything, and started selling them. gathering the money and start donating them to the orphanage. Why? Everything is vanity. All is vanity. Hmm? So, as you amass all of this wealth, think of how you can help. That's where I'm going. How you can render help to your brother. And when we say your brother, not necessarily your family members, person next to you who is in need. How about if he was able to do that? Giving a lot of philanthropy up, right? And also creating platforms available for people to be able to achieve their own purpose themselves. So as you do that, extend the hand of giving, extend the hand of charity. In doing that, you're not just only laying treasure for yourself here, but also in heaven. So the point I'm trying to drive out here is life is of two sides of the coin. Where you live well, you live. And the other side, you will die. No amount of wealth you might acquire, no amount of resources you might pull to yourself. One day, you will lose all. Losing all, that is, you will leave them behind. And in leaving them behind, what comes after it? You're going to know nothing. Why? So, listeners, viewers, anywhere you're listening to me, I want you to take a moment to reflect right now. But the first question I ask, what is the purpose of your living? How are you working towards achieving that purpose? And after you have achieved that purpose, what do you want to do? Yes, you want to make more money. You have made the money. What do you want to use the money for? My counsel to you, use it to help others. Use it to pull others towards achieving their own purpose themselves. In doing that, even the Bible said, when you were able to help your brother in need, he said on that day, you will say, when I was naked, you clothed me. When I was hungry, you fed me. All right? And you will ask him, when were you naked that we helped you? Or when were you hungry that we fed you? Oh, in as much as you are able to do it to your brother in need, to your sister in need, you have done it to me. So that after you have left the life, the legacy you live while you were living will still count after life. I hope I've been able to speak to you right now on how you can live before death. And after death, what you should do. Because death will not come knocking and tell you that, hey guy, I'm here now. Pack your load and let's go. It comes all of a sudden. But after you have left, will your legacy, will your life still count? That's a massive question. After you have left, will your life still count? Yes or no? I'll leave the answer to you. And I believe that you have been able to tap one or two lessons tonight. And till I come your way next night class, I believe that you would have been able to consider living a life of purpose and working towards it. This class is proudly sponsored and supported by the GEM team. And this is how we'll be having it every Wednesday between the hours of 10 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. for now. And like I said in the broadcast before today, that if you would like to be a guest with me on the class, feel free to send me a DM or drop it in the comment section, and I'll pick you, and we'll be in the next class. Thank you very much for being part of this class, and I hope to see you next class. Thank you, and God bless you. Have a good night's rest.